Hello, I'm Seth Rudetsky. Just kidding. He's at a barbecue. No, he's not. He's following the rules like we all should be doing. How are you, everyone? I'm Laura Benanti. Welcome to Stars in the House. Thank you for supporting the Actors Fund if you can. I know that this is a time where not all of us are in a position to do that. But if you are and you do, I thank you very much. If you're here to just hang out and lend moral support and be part of this community, thank you for that as well. I'm probably talking to no one as it's Memorial Day and it's nice. So maybe people are standing outside social distancing. But I'm going to pretend like I'm talking to millions of people because that's what I always do, even when I'm just talking to my child and no one else is listening to me. We have an amazing lineup today, truly amazing. We have Broadway star Javier Muñoz. We have teacher of my dreams, Bryan Andes. We have Sunshine Songs guru, Madison Smith. We have my mom, #Linda. But before we start, I wanted to share a little something. Last week when I hosted, I brought on Cecilia Harold Laporta to talk about her incredible life. She was the single mom of 5 children. And she didn't get to mention that she worked with, she was on President Carter's task force for teenage pregnancy. And also she was a social worker for the elderly and received a Medal of Honor. So I wanted to make sure that we got that in there. So for my very, very first interview, I would like to welcome from the other room, Linda Benanti. Linda.
Sweetheart.
I'm literally touching this wall because on the other side of it is you.
Which is the most distance we've had in quite a while.
And I appreciate it. So my husband, Patrick, and my 3-year-old daughter, Ella, and I have been at my childhood home, your quiet home.
Our
quiet home.
Full home of 37 years.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. For almost 3 months now.
Right.
In your words, how's it going?
Surprisingly well.
Why is that a surprise?
Well, you never know.
Why would that be a surprise?
Do I look dark? I look dark to me. That's all right.
That was just a little window into living with Linda. You don't look dark.
I mean, really, considering the circumstances, everybody's working. You and Pat and Dad and I are working. And Ella, this adorable 3-year-old, has no other kids to play with. And I mean, that's sort of a recipe for, but it's really been great. For us,
we've only had it's been amazing for us too. We are so grateful to be quarantining in your beautiful space and to be able to go outside and to have help with Ella. I mean, everyone's like, how are you doing all this during quarantine? And I would not and could not be doing it if it were not for you and Dad.
Well,
honestly,
having a schedule is great. And we have a good schedule. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm really grateful. I really want to say that I'm so grateful to you and Dad for making it possible for Patrick and I to continue to work, because I don't know how parents are doing it when it's just them.
Yeah, I honestly don't either. But this is
So Serena says, these Linda Laura moments make me so happy. They also make me miss my mom.
I know.
It's hard. We are lucky in that way.
And so are Dad and I. We're very lucky because
Thank you.
If you weren't here, it would just be and Dad.
I'm glad we finally got there. This was all leading to you thanking me publicly. Finally.
And really,
no, but it's really true.
And having this time, it's like old school, like the olden days when Grandma and Grandpa lived with you or next door, and it was sort of the whole it takes a village kind of lifestyle. So we feel very in all of what's going on, our sunshine, our blessing in this is that we're getting to do this with Ella. So
and me.
And Ella.
Cool. Speaking of sunshine, really everyone has you to thank for the inspiration to Sunshine Songs.
You're absolutely right.
I know, it's true. I came home and you were very distraught. Tell me what you said.
Well, I mean, I remember like a million years ago when I was in high school and when you were in high school, that High School Musical. I mean, if you were smart enough to take physics, unless you went into that field, you don't remember physics. You remember your High School Musical.
Yeah.
It's so important. And so it was the students from the studio that had worked for months and months and months.
Linda Benanti Voice Studio.
Yeah. And that thank you, that they didn't get a chance to either perform at all or they got like one show. And, heartbroken, just heartbroken. And then, of course, our college students who are preparing for their big New York City showcase. And that's been like 4 years of this is going to be our moment gone. So I just expressed to you that I just felt terrible for all of them. I had no idea that you were going to make this little video that would turn into such a wonderful thing for all of these kids. So
I didn't know it was going to turn into that either. I genuinely was sending that video to like your students, obviously to everybody, but the idea, the kernel of the idea came from you and your concern and your love for your voice students, which comes through all the time. So thank you for that. Thank you for, being the impetus for Sunshine Songs. We now have this like beautiful movement. So good job, Mom.
Well, honestly, I just went like this and you took it. So.
No, that's your heart. That's like your big, generous heart to say,
and
I'm worried about my students.
These kids that they now have a place.
Yeah. We're going to hear from one of them soon, Madison Smith. She turns 16 years old this month and she's going to be singing for us. Her voice is incredible. We've had, over 6,000 submissions of kids who are just remarkable. And to your point with the college graduates, there's another hashtag, Sunshine Song Grads, that you can post your video to if you're interested in being seen in that way. So I wanted to ask you, so you were a performer. And then how old was I when you stopped performing?
You were probably around 18 months old.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So you stopped performing and then we moved out to New Jersey.
When you
opened, when I was 4 and you opened Linda Benanti Voice Studio, which is
out there. I had a studio in the city prior to that.
Right. And then you moved it out here pretty full time.
After commuting for 7 years. Yeah. Then I moved it out here.
Yeah. And then, that's a lot. I can't believe you did that. And you did that when you were pregnant with Marielle, my sister, right?
Through my due date.
You dummy.
Well, it was a big storm coming home on Route 3 and I was having Braxton Hicks and I thought, all right, well, if I have to pull over and have this baby, I'm going to have this baby. But luckily.
You're a pioneer woman.
Absolutely. No. And luckily, she was late. So we were all good. Got home. Yeah.
Yeah. But so now you have Linda Benanti Voice Studio out here and you had not performed in 36 years when you and I started doing our show together?
Right.
How was that for you when I made you perform after 36 years? How was it for you the first time you got on stage at 54 Below?
Made is the operative word there.
No, I made you.
I know because my go-to is extreme reluctance to do anything like that. Actually, I was really terrified because I just didn't want to embarrass you at the time, but also I was excited because prior to me, when you first said it, I thought, I can't. But then once I found the story, once I found the music I wanted and what it meant to me and what it represented in my life and wrote the story, then I was excited to do it because I felt like it wasn't about me anymore. It was about the music and the meaning behind it, much more so. So even though I was terrified, it was wonderful. As they say, once you get that bug, you have it the rest of your life. And so I was just so grateful. And then we just kept doing it.
I know. Hopefully when all of this is done, we'll do it again.
That would be good. That would be good. With our face shield.
I know, with our face shields.
Yeah.
Gosh. We'll look really young though with our face shields.
I
I
would
wonder
like,
if we can do like rose, like pink gel face shields.
yeah,
Look at
and
that.
also I was thinking of perhaps painting the face I always wanted on the shield.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah,
really great idea.
I thought,
The mouth not moving could be an issue, but we can work it out.
yeah, we could do it.
We'll figure it
Maybe
out.
just cut. No, we can't cut our mouth. Okay,
The
never mind.
whole point is to stop the spittle.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Yeah. No, I
We
look
have
forward to
Me too. So we have a surprise for everyone to close out the show today of you singing. I don't want the people to be disappointed that you're not singing live. Don't worry, Linda is singing, but we're saving it. We pre-recorded it and saved it for the end of our show. Is there anything else that you want to say to
yeah.
me? Any thanks or
Yeah.
any like just
Wait a minute.
general
You
things
want me
I've just anything you love about me that you like? No, I'm kidding. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Actually, there is. And before you prompted me to do so, I had intended to
Mm-hmm.
say how proud I am of you.
Go
Because
on.
because I'm actually being sincere, but now I'm laughing.
Okay.
All right. No, how proud we, Dad and I, are of you, because you have taken your whole heart and put yourself into this to help these kids, and then through Sunshine Song streaming into the hospitals and senior citizens. You're putting light out there, you're putting good out there, you're literally putting sunshine out there. And I know how hard you've been working on this.
But guess where I learned that?
Uh,
I learned it from you.
yeah,
All of that.
yeah, no.
Yeah. My very inappropriate sense of humor from you. Constantly putting, trying to find the good in people, trying to put good into the world. All of that came from you. So
Well,
anything that you see in me that you're proud of, you put there. So good job.
I'm very proud of your height. I have none.
You had nothing to do with that. You are very small. You are a very small person.
No, I'm just really proud of you, sweetheart. We really are. So thank you for bringing so much joy into our lives too.
You're very welcome. Remember when you told me that you needed space the other day?
Yeah,
I came into your bathroom and you were like, I just need some space. And then we had a text fight.
Not a fight. We had a text. We finished our conversation via text.
I know. And I finished with, I know, comma, mom. That was my last. When
I read that, and the last word was mom, I went, ooh, touche.
Ooh, biatch.
No, look, it's not a huge house we're living in here.
No.
And it's 5 people living, and 4 people working, and 1 little person running the show.
Running and screaming.
And so, I mean, yeah, every now and again, we just need to go, I'll see you in about 45 minutes and shut the door. Yeah.
Speaking of, I need some time away from you right now.
I love you. Bye.
I love you. I love you. I'll see you in 45 minutes.
Okay. Love you.
Bye. Love you. Oh, I'm sorry if that was only interesting to me. But that's the world we live in now. And happy Memorial Day, by the way. I've been thinking a lot about, and this is very serious, which I know I'm not serious a lot. And so that can be confusing and a weird segue. But I've really been thinking a lot about the sacrifice that our brave men and women have made over the course of our country's existence. How selfless and courageous they are to go into battle for the sake of our country. And I think about the sacrifices that we're being asked to make right now as a country. And comparatively, for me, what is being asked of me right now is to stay home. And when I go out, to maintain social distance and to wear a mask. It's not a lot. And when I think comparatively of the greatest sacrifice that our men and women have made, we're being asked very little. And so I'm hoping that we can continue to gently encourage our friends and neighbors to follow the rules of social distancing so that we can try and save as many lives as possible. You know, in my lifetime, I've not been asked to sacrifice anything really. And we're being called upon now in the way that, you know, our grandparents were during World War II to make some sacrifices for the good of our nation. And not to politicize this moment, but I really am thinking so much of the lives that were lost for our country and the brave men and women who did that. So thank you to them on Memorial Day. Singing in the Memorial Day concert in Washington, D.C. really changed my view of Memorial Day from like barbecues in summer to like what it's actually about. So I've been thinking a lot about it today. So a deep thank you for the sacrifice, and a prayer and hope that we will continue to take care of each other as best we can. Our next guest is a 16-year-old. She just turned sweet 16 this month. Her name is Madison Smith, and she's joining us now. Madison.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I saw you through the hashtag of Sunshine Songs when I was scrolling and commenting, and I just think you are so talented. Your voice is so beautiful and special. Thank you. And you're in Georgia, correct?
Yes, I'm in Georgia.
Okay. And your school musical this year was Pippin.
Yes, Pippin.
And you did one show?
Yeah, we only got to do one show, unfortunately, but the one show that we did was just so incredible, and it was just amazing to be with the cast and to be able to sing and just enjoy the time that we had.
Yeah. How has life been for you since then? Talk to me a little bit about what your day-to-day is.
It's been good. I've been trying to focus myself on small tasks. I've been decorating my room. I just turned my closet into a studio. So I've been doing little tasks like that just to kind of occupy myself, and school just ended. So just been finding little things.
Yeah. Are you able to communicate with your friends in a meaningful way, or has that been troubling?
I've been able to like FaceTime my friends and stuff like that, which has been really good, so I can actually see them rather than only talking to them on the phone. But yeah, I've been able to FaceTime them and text them, so that's been really good.
That's good. And who are you quarantining with? Who's your quarantine?
Right now I'm quarantining with my mom and my stepdad and my dog, Blue.
Oh, I think having an animal during this time would be like a very nice thing.
Yes, it's definitely so comforting. And I just got my license, so Blue comes in the car with me.
Oh, good. So you're able to sort of get out of the house and take a drive.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
How was your birthday? What did you do for your birthday?
For my birthday, my stepdad is actually a chef. He's a really good chef.
Wow.
Yeah, he works at Cherokee Country Club, and he made me this delicious cake. It was vegan because I'm vegan, and
oh wow,
yes, but it was so good, and I celebrated with my mom, my aunt, and my dad, or my stepdad, and then on my actual birthday, I got to see my dad and my stepmom. We had a picnic.
Oh, that's wonderful! I'm glad that you were able to do that. You deserve it.
Oh,
so now, what are you going to sing for us? I'm so excited for everyone to hear you sing.
I'm going to be singing "Feeling Good" by Nina Simone.
Yes. Excellent. Well, let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life on me. Yes, a new dawn, it's a new day, new life for me. Ooh, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good.
Oh no! Technology, how dare you? How dare you interrupt Madison in that way? I'm furious. What if I just started singing that song? It would be not good. It would not sound like that. It would sound like a hooty old woman. And nobody wants that. So here's my hope. Oh, Julia, that was so sweet. Julia, who we had last week, is saying how much she loves Madison's voice. Okay, here is what I want. I'm gonna message, guys. This is all happening live. I've never felt more alive than in this moment. I'm gonna message her and say we need you to come back. But in the interim, I probably will go to our next guest. I'm just saying, come back when you can. I'm devastated that happened because she's incredible. So our next guest is the teacher of my dreams. His name is Bryan Andes, and he is a kindergarten / first grade teacher at PS 212 in New York, also called Midtown West School. And I met him when I was doing Gypsy, and he brought me into his class to sing Little Lamb for all of his students. And they like passed around all their little stuffed animals, and I held them. And then I went back again when he was doing My Fair Lady and the tribute to Lerner and Lowe, and I sang Loverly with them. And then most recently, on the 20th of May, which is Eliza Doolittle Day, I was able to assist him in his sort of homeschooling version of how they could celebrate Eliza Doolittle Day. So let's look at a little video clip before we meet Bryan of his students performing, and it is genuinely the most adorable thing you're ever going to see. So please enjoy.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I was hoping we were going to see more of that video. It was so, I'm not thrilled to see you, but I was really into it.
So good.
So good. Hi.
It's good to see you.
It's so good to see you. I have so many things I want to talk to you about. So as I told the people at home, we met when
about 10 years ago.
10 years ago? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it went by so quickly.
It went by so quickly. So tell us, please go ahead.
I was going to say you came in to do scenes from Into the Woods, and
Yes.
we did Little Lamb a cappella, and they passed around the little stuffed animals of all the animals that appear in that song.
It was so good. It was so adorable. And then I got to do the scene of My Fair Lady,
right,
with some of the kids.
Earlier in this year.
Very adorable. Yeah, this year. So talk to me a bit about your program and what you do, and then we'll circle back around to how you got started with it.
So basically, I'm in a really amazing school that teaches through an interdisciplinary approach to learning, which is modeled after the Bank Street philosophy of teaching, in which everything is integrated into one thematic work throughout the year. So basically, our lens into learning is through social studies. So starting in pre-K, we focus on the individual child. In kindergarten, we move into the family study. And then in first grade, we learned about community and school. So essentially, our theater study is about learning about the neighborhood in which you go to school. And since we're in the theater district, it's using theater to illustrate the collaborative process of how people work together to create a musical.
I love that you do that. So what brought you to teaching?
I was just one of those kids who always was, I loved school. I had a second grade teacher, Mrs. Riley, who exposed us to the arts in second grade through painting and music and dance. I mean, I just remember that room being so alive. I always thought as a teacher, you have a chance to do everything throughout the day. You're a reader, you're a writer, you're a mathematician, you're a scientist. Like, it's not limiting. So for someone who loves learning and loves, all aspects of learning, being a teacher is such a great profession because you get to do all of those things every single day.
Yes.
And so I just always knew I wanted to teach. I was one of those kids in the neighborhood who was always organizing games and clubs and inviting kids over and playing teacher. So when I went to NYU, I had this amazing teacher, Carolyn Spangler, in my senior year of undergrad work at NYU, who introduced me to this idea of using social studies as a way to tie in your year of curriculum. And it inspired me so much, and things just kind of worked out. I interviewed for this job at 212, which was 2 decades ago. I got the job in 2000, and it was a school where that is what they wanted. That is what they were looking for, teachers to kind of help elevate the curriculum and to bring a new, fresh perspective to it. And we had an amazing principal at that time, Mary Timpson, who believed in me, and a great group of teachers, some of whom are still there. And I got my feet wet for a couple of years, and then we started the theater study in 2005. And it started small, and then it's just blossomed into what it's become today.
You have had so many luminaries come to your class.
Yeah.
I mean, Stephen Sondheim.
And that was the first year. He was our last guest in the first year, which was funny because we said we started small, but you get Mr. Sondheim, and I guess, wow.
I mean,
I couldn't believe it.
Can you list some of your other guests that you've had?
We had Julie Andrews and Carol Burnett and Vanessa Redgrave and Elaine Stritch, who sang Broadway Baby to the kids. But then what's so special about the study is it's the Alice Gilbert's wardrobe supervisor. It's Michael Passero, who's the stage manager. It's Tom Shull, who's the fight director. It's those jobs and those people that are equally as important to these kids, because for them, they don't know who Stephen Sondheim is in the sense that we do. They don't know who Vanessa Redgrave is. They see the work and they appreciate the work, but for them, everyone is equally exciting and each job is equally important, which is what's so special at this age.
Yes, 100%. I definitely experienced that with my daughter. Whenever we see Lin-Manuel Miranda, he always starts to sing Moana to her, and she's like, no.
Right.
And I'm like, Alec, he wrote that. He wrote it. And she's like,
nope, not today.
And every time he laughs hysterically. He's got such a good sense of humor about it. But it is so funny to me. It is they just don't know yet. They don't know the hierarchy of the world yet. It's beautiful.
And I think that's what I think the guests respond to too, is that when they come in, it's for the actual work itself. It's not about the celebrity or the, how big someone is.
They are people. That also speaks to who you get. Because I know I would imagine there are some actors who actually don't like that. That they would probably want to be treated like a star. But not the people you've had, not my sweet queen, Julie Andrews.
Right.
It's just so remarkable to me whenever the 2 times I've come to your class to see these images of my heroes there. It's just absolutely incredible. Sorry, I'm just looking. Okay, Madison is back. So we're going to get to Madison after we talk to you. I'm so relieved. So talk to me a bit about, has there ever been a parent who's like, what? My kid's going to be doing what?
Yeah, I mean, especially when we first started, it took time to kind of build what this project was. And there's always that hesitation of, what is this about? When is the, quote unquote, real work going to happen?
The learning, right.
The learning. And it's helping them to understand that putting on a show is one of the hardest things, one of the most complex things you will ever get to do. And it's all aspects of the child that we're supporting. So by putting on a show, it affects reading, writing, math, science. I mean, every area of the curriculum is embedded into this work. And so the idea is that the kids are doing all this work and they don't even know that they're doing science. They don't know that they're doing math. It's all there. And so the learning is exciting and it is fun. And, it's helping parents to see that that does elevate all areas of the day, no matter what they're doing. And we see it.
Have you had a parent come full circle?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That must feel great.
It does. And like I said, I mean, now, not so much. Now I think because we've seen it happen, it's been going on since, 2005. So we have kind of the legacy of the program. And I think people now come to our school or, enter the classroom knowing what's ahead and, they anticipate it and they're excited about it.
Yes. So you begin working with them in kindergarten and you work with them through first grade. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so we call it looping at our school. We stay with them for 2 years, and it's giving them, an experience. I think this study is so in depth and so rich because we're able to start it in kindergarten. And it starts in the spring of kindergarten with an extensive immersion of fairy tales. Right. So the kids learn about the fairy tales, and as much as I love the Disney versions, love, I want them to understand that those tales didn't start with Disney. So we study those tales and we go back and we look at where those tales came from. We look at different versions from around the world. I mean, when we focused on Cinderella, I mean, we looked at, over a few dozen books of Cinderella. I mean, extended over the course of a month. I mean, you could focus on Cinderella for the year. There's so many different tales. So it's learning about fairy tales and this idea then how we connect them to our families, how we study the tradition of oral storytelling, how families pass down tales from one generation to the next, and how we make those connections. And then when we move into the first grade theater study, the idea is that we then bring back the tales that we learned about in kindergarten, and then we adapt it into the musical for our final year.
Oh, that is amazing. David, when you are able to pop up some of those photos and videos so Bryan and I can speak to them because they're so, talk to me. Tell me everything.
So this is one of the musicals, The Girl in the Mask, based on the tale of Cinderella that we studied. And the kids take on all the jobs. So what's unique about our theater study program is that the kids take on all of the jobs. So in the fall, they learn about all of the jobs from the front of the house all the way to the back of the house. And then in the second half of the year, they each decide on what am I good at, what are my strengths, and what can I carry on. So they actually become the costume designers, the set designers, the stagehand, the stage manager. And they go through the entire process. So here you see the painting of the costume designer, and then that picture before was it actually built. So we also have a collaboration with the Children's Institute of Fashion Arts. They hand make all the costumes, but the kids also, the easier costumes, the ensemble costumes, the kids actually hand sew them. So the kids are involved in the process of making the costumes. The kids made the mask for this. Bit by bit, they all glued on the pieces. So every single thing for each production is made by hand based on the kids' work.
Yes, that is so beautiful. And you find that the children are collaborative.
I mean, that's kind of the whole point is, do I want them to have an appreciation for the arts, of course, and musical theater history and all of that stuff, because I love it so much. But the bigger piece is that they can take these life skills and these concepts and apply it to anything that they want to do in life. Because, no matter what job you want to do, you have to learn how to listen to each other. You have to learn how to collaborate. There's a process you have to go through. So the study is very much process oriented.
Yes, absolutely. Oh.
They also go through the design process. We even, Spotco hosts the children every year, and the finalists do design campaigns at Spotco, and Spotco picks the winning design every year.
That is amazing.
There you see the sketch, and this is the final painting.
Yes. And how are you able to make these connections?
I mean, it started, the first person I ever responded to me back in 2005 was Joanna Gleason.
Of course it was.
She was in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I dropped a note backstage, and she emailed me maybe a few days later, and I said, I couldn't believe it. Joanna Gleason's emailing me. And I said, is it that easy? I mean, I didn't know, but at the time it gave me the confidence. And she was one of our very first guests and came in and worked on scenes, directing them in scenes from Into the Woods. And I said, whoa. And it kind of just started from there slowly. And Jessica Hecht was a parent at our school, and she was instrumental in helping bring in people from the community. So it was making those connections, and then it slowly builds. If you have a great experience, you then tell your friends. And so it just keeps growing and growing.
Yes, it's so beautiful. I love so much what you're doing. I think it's so important. And I also couldn't get over how sort of polite and well-behaved your children were, and had a genuine appreciation for the community that we were creating in your classroom. It really, It was
Thank
so
you.
beautiful. Yeah, what you're
And
doing, I think.
and that's part of it too, just how to sit, how to respect someone, how to ask questions, how to wait your turn. Just being part of an audience itself is so important.
Yes, and just learning to wait. That's the hardest thing. It's so hard to wait
Yep.
for your turn to talk. And especially if you feel like you have something to contribute, that's really important. That's something we're working on with my daughter. So now she's like all the time, just in the middle of everything is raising her hand, but it's so beautiful. Before we let you go, I just want to see if we can see a few more photos or maybe even a video that David can.
I want the door that belongs to me. I want the bed that belongs to me. I want to know when I climb into bed, I'll wake up in my own morning. I have to leave. You can't leave. The sun's just going down. We have all night. Don't worry, we'll catch up some other time. Where has the time all gone to? Haven't done half the things we want to.
But Bernardo made me promise.
Bernardo, one has never been in this country. Do I ever even such excitement? I sew all day, I sit all night. For what did my father really need?
Well, he brought you here to marry Gino.
When I look at Gino, nothing happens.
What would you expect to happen?
I mean, just Rita Moreno, just doing a scene with Rita Moreno.
Just because. And what's amazing about the song My Own Morning from that scene that Cinderella was singing by the fireplace is that as part of that Compton and Green year, you know, Leslie Eggums, whose birthday it is today, she came to teach that song to the kids. So the idea is that the original artists sometimes have been the ones that come to our classroom to teach those songs that we then use in the show, which is so amazing when you think about and she was there opening night. So to have Leslie Eggums watching Isabel sing her song that she created was just too much.
And who is your orchestra?
We have a sometimes 12 to 14 piece orchestra every year, made up of musicians, made of family members, talented musicians that are in our building, local 802 members who donate their time. But the music is fully orchestrated for the kids, and we have a sitz probe before we do it, and the kids get to sing with the orchestra during rehearsal for the first time. It's every bit of the process.
I was supposed to come this year, and then you guys had to cancel it.
Right, our opening night is the 17th, so it's obviously not going to happen this year, but we're hoping to do something in some form next year when we get to the fall. And I was even thinking maybe we could just film a movie musical version of it and stage it outside around Central Park, because so much of it can be. So we'll see. It's going to be something, because we have so much of it done already. Well,
count me in if I can help in any way.
I will.
I want to be there. You're the best. You are the teacher of my dreams. And I thank you for what you're doing and the humans that you're creating. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everything you've done too.
Oh, thanks, Bryan. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye. Bye.
Bye. You guys, my battery is low and I don't have my charger. And I just texted my husband and I quote, "An urgency." Emphasis on the N. Can you bring down my computer charger? But I have not heard back from him. So if my computer dies, what are we going to do? I am going to text my mom also. Why didn't I bring down my computer charger? What arrogance did I have when I saw 63% battery life and thought that should be fine? So we have Madison back. Oh, thank God. Wait. Hold on, this is real life. Are you ready? Honey. Oh, and now my daughter's here too.
Come here, bro.
All right, Ella. This is live, guys. This is what's happening. And look at my mom.
Is that one gonna work?
Everyone's helping me. Wait, where do we? This is guerrilla filmmaking. This is not my charger.
Well,
This will not work.
Honey, yours is right there.
Where?
Plugged in.
Oh, mine's already.
Come on out.
Mine's already plugged in.
Come on.
Guys, don't worry.
Quick cut. Quick cut.
Oh gosh, I just headbutted. This is my daughter. I love you, sweetheart. I'll see you soon. Do you want?
Peach coming.
Do you want a piece of candy?
Peach
Okay,
coming.
I love you.
Come on. Love you. Come on.
Parent of the year. Do you want some candy? That's what I just said to my child. But you know what? Did it work? Yeah. Madison's back. Seth and James are like, never again. Madison's back. Here we are. Okay. Madison. Oh, thank goodness.
Hey.
All right. Hey. This is a very exciting show. My blood is pumping.
Isn't it?
I'm in a full sweat. Okay. So are we going to hear you sing again?
Yes. Yes.
Oh gosh, already
I'm
our
ready.
connection is not great, but let's try. Let's try doing it.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, new life for me. Ooh, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace till day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Stars, when you shine, you know I'm feeling good. Center the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm feeling good.
Yes. Worth the wait. Worth the wait. That was incredible, Madison. Thank you for rolling with it. Thank you for getting downstairs. You are incredible. People are like going bananas for you. You are incredible. Let's show her Instagram handles again where you can follow Madison and see more of her immense talent. She has two, one personal, one music. Follow them both. She's unbelievable. Madison, thank you so much. Oh, I'm plugged in. Madison came back. It's all going to be fine. For our last guest, we have Broadway star and social activist. His Broadway Relief Project is providing PPE for frontline hospital workers in New York. He also has multiple projects going on beyond that he is going to speak to. We're going to see a little video that is going to give you a taste of what he's doing, and then we're going to see Javier Muñoz. What were we just seeing? Hi.
Hi. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being here.
That was thank you for showing that clip. That's pride and joy and hope right there. That's Windsor Cleaners. They are an essential business here in New York City, and they also cater to our Broadway shows. They do all our dry cleaning for our shows. They also got an honorary Tony Award for their work, by the way.
Wow, that's
I
amazing.
know, they're fancy schmancy. So they are our wheels on the ground to get fabrics from Open Jar Studios, which is where the Broadway Relief Project is housed. They pick up the materials, they ship them out to the boroughs. Every borough has a point person or multiple point people where the fabrics are dropped off, and all the local stitchers and wardrobe artists in each borough get their fabrics from that point, bring them home, manufacture, bring them back, and Windsor Cleaners takes the finished PPEs, in our case, it was predominantly gowns, brings them back to Open Jar Studios, and what you saw there, those bags were the bags of materials they would bring. Then they pick them back up, bring them to Open Jar, the city comes, inspects the gowns, and then brings them from Open Jar to our hospital workers here in New York City.
That's amazing. So now what made you think to do this? I mean, one of the things I admire about you is anytime I'm on social media, you are like speaking the truth about whatever might be in front of us. You are like so bravely opening your heart and opening yourself up to criticism from unkind people who are afraid. And you always handle yourself with so much grace, so much dignity, and you don't stop. And that's, I think your heart is so huge. I so admire you. So if you can speak to first the Broadway Relief Project and then the other projects you have going on. I just want everyone to know what you're doing because it's amazing.
Well, first of all, thank you. Those are very kind words.
Yes, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Thank you. But this is I can't really pinpoint what inspired me other than New York City was on lockdown. I went into full lockdown the day that Broadway closed, right? My show closed, and so I packed up my dressing room, came home. We did a bunch of shopping, my partner and I, and we were like, this is our life for the next, we thought, 2-3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So really, we were in lockdown from that moment. And at the time, I was still watching news on the daily basis. I can't do that now, it's too much, right? But at the time, I was watching the governor speak every day. I was watching all the news conferences and everything. And when the governor was talking about needed PPEs, that we were hitting a point where masks we were running out of our resources. And I just thought, this seems so both far-fetched and silly that we're not being able to organize and help, right? We are the Broadway community. This is what we do. This is how we treat every situation. We say, what can we do? Whether it's in our profession or it's in our lives, right? We ask how we can help. And I think that's built in with artists, right? So I reached out to BCFA. I was like, Tom, Valerie, what can, this is my idea. I was like, how do we galvanize our IATSE Local 764 union, the wardrobe union? How do we get them organized and safely manufacturing this stuff? I have this idea. Can you help me out? And they really didn't have the bandwidth at the time because BCFA and the Actors Fund and all the unions were first responding, right? They were trying to organize themselves. And so really they could just point me in directions. I got introduced to Molly Braverman at the Broadway Green Alliance. And I tell you, what a spirit, what a powerhouse. She's incredible. We were like, can we do this together? Can we organize together? Molly already had some ideas with resourcing. And so we were like, yeah, let's try this. That was day one. It was a Thursday. By day 2, I got introduced to Bruce Barish, who runs Windsor Cleaners, which is the video you just showed.
Yes.
And here I was like, because Molly and I, with all our brainstorming, were like, well, how do we do this? How do we make this happen? Like, we can't go on to take the train and like drop stuff off. Like this is, how do we actually make this manifest? And dry cleaning services still are an essential business in New York City. So that saved us. So Bruce was on board. He was ready to go. Like he and his drivers, they just were full out compassion, ready to do what they could.
In the bunkhouse. It was awful.
It was good for you.
It was very good for me.
Okay, so your mic was muted. So will you go back and say what you were saying while we watch that
sorry.
video? How dare you? Said the woman who just bribed her child with candy to go away.
I've been loving this entire episode, by the way. It's so good.
It's a hot mess and a half. So I want to hear what you were saying.
Yes, so that clip right there, that is Open Jar Studios. So
Okay.
Jeff Whitting was the last piece of the puzzle. We needed, because we were this sort of like blob of a movement that the city couldn't really wrap their brains around, right? Because they were trying to respond to so many things. We needed to be in one space. Open Jar Studios, Jeff Whitting said yes to housing the entire project. So on a daily basis, Jeff Whitting has been organizing every detail. Molly and I have been there in support. Bruce has been there with wheels on the ground. But Open Jar became our home, and that's what you just saw. These volunteers who volunteer to go to Open Jar Studios to pre-cut the fabric, to pre-cut the elastic, to pre-cut the materials, package them in those red bags. Those red bags go out to the stitchers, and then what you just saw are, yes, those bags there. And then from once they're manufactured, that's the final product. Those boxes are filled with gowns that are going to go out to New York City hospitals. And that's the gown itself that gets manufactured at Open Jar Studios by those volunteers and at home. So that's Open Jar, and then people are doing the same work at home. Look at that.
And now,
look at how much elastic he's cutting in Velcro. It's crazy.
Incredible. And talk to us about what Open Jar is.
Open Jar Studios is a rehearsal space in Midtown, run and owned and operated by Jeff Whitting, and he, along with all these volunteers that we were organizing, they transformed that space into what you see there. And so really the tricky part was working with the CDC and trying to get the actual specifications and learning really fast what that meant. Certain fabrics, the right materials. We weren't going to put our hospital workers in danger, right? We wanted to do this right. And so to get everything approved by the city was really a lot of footwork, a lot of phone calls, a lot of conference calls, a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of emails and texting. But really, that's the final product there, and we've managed to ultimately, I think it's like 35,000 gowns.
Javier, that's incredible.
It's incredible, and that's the thing is that's the power of our community. The Broadway community collaborates. It's what we do. It's built in our bones, right? It's our instinct, and this is born from that. So it really was. It just took a handful of people, Jeff, Molly, myself, and Bruce, to say we're doing this thing, right? Getting in touch with the EDC, which was my job. Jeff getting in touch with the governor's office, Molly resourcing, everybody resourcing, Bruce organizing the wheels on the ground. But like, it takes people to want to put in the time, right? Because the hearts are there. In our community, they're right there. It's full. Our community is full of people who want to make a difference. So it just took us to organize it and make it happen. And here it is. And we've done it.
How can we support you in this? How can we be of service?
Right now, I think the best way to support is certainly if you have the skill, which I do not, of actual stitching and sewing. Go to the Open Jar Studios website. There's a Broadway Relief Project link there, and fill out the registration form, and someone will be in touch. You have to be in New York City, of course. And our resourcing is, we really have everything in place. So putting the word out that this is happening, I think is the best way to help, because I think efforts like this and actions like this are hope. Right. For me, I know through this entire experience, it's given me resilience to see people in action, right? To know that there's someone out there trying, helping, doing what they can. So I think share that we've got interviews with people on Broadway World that people can share. There's a ton of articles people can share. And I think it's just about sharing this news so that folks know people are doing stuff. People are
Yes.
helping. People are trying. We are in this together, and we're
Yeah.
trying our best together, right? So besides just staying home and wearing a mask and social distancing, spread the word, spread the news, because I think that hope makes people feel, it makes me feel better. So I think it
Yeah.
makes other people feel better. So that's the best thing I think you can do.
And when life hopefully goes back to normal, I know where I'm going to be rehearsing, and that will be at Open Jar. And
Please
I know
do.
where I will be sending my dry cleaning, and that's to Windsor.
Please.
You know,
I mean,
I think that's another way how we can support is
and
just to
support
make
the
sure.
Broadway Green Alliance too. Like
Yes,
when, you know,
for
all
sure.
their events and stuff. That's the best way we can going forward. Yeah.
Yes. Will you talk to me a bit more before we leave about your other initiatives?
Oh my
Because I
gosh,
know
there's
this is
so
not
many.
only this is not the only thing you're doing.
No, it isn't. I'm also, you know, when we were organizing the Broadway Relief Project, we were trying to figure out, are we going to take monetary donations? Are we not? It got really confusing and messy. And at the end of the day, we thought we don't want to be a distraction from people who might want to help the Actors Fund. And that is a larger reach, because the Actors Fund is helping our entire industry.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done this all on volunteer-based and donation-based of materials.
Right.
No monetary donations. We didn't want to distract. So my other efforts have been with BCEFA to help raise money for the Actors Fund, which has been probably the most low impact on my schedule of all the efforts. But I've been assisting them, and I also have been assisting the organization RED, which I am an ambassador for, and their reach is global, right? So really, I had my first global conference as a RED ambassador, pertaining to how do we sort of start looking forward to sort of addressing sexual health especially for young people going forward, when we've got this sort of situation where we can't really meet in places and community centers around the world can't function, right? So how do we plan moving forward to make sure we're maintaining sexual health for people? So that's been another thing I've been working on. And I'm on the board for GMHC. And we're doing a bunch of fundraising, which you're going to see hopefully quite soon. A lot of our friends, you know, volunteering to say yes to be part of this project. So galvanizing my celebrity friends to help out in this way. But yeah, there's been a lot of stuff, and then a few creative projects too. I haven't rested.
Yes, I know. You never do.
Yeah.
You never do, but I know you're tired, but I'm grateful to you, because you are physically bringing our first responders PPE that they so desperately need, and you're also bringing hope and joy and brightness into people's lives. So thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it.
Well,
and speaking of the Actors Fund, you can donate at starsinthehouse.com if you are able to. I know that this is a very hard time to ask people to donate. You know, it's very tricky time. So if you can, great. If you can't, also don't worry. As Javier said, you can retweet or, you know, repost the incredible initiatives that he's doing through the Broadway Relief Fund. So there's so many ways that we can be of service that don't have to do with money. You know,
if I may take a moment to say that when I started all of this, it was very stressful. It was a lot of anxiety, but I for sure drew a lot of inspiration and comfort from Sunshine Songs. So thank you for that. Because I would sit on my downtime and just scroll through those videos. And it brought me so much joy and so much peace and so much inspiration. Those young people are amazing. Madison was amazing.
Isn't she incredible?
She was incredible.
I know.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
Well, it's my pleasure. You know, as I'm sure you know and experience, for me, I am my best self when I'm being of service. And, you know, it is actually just as much for me, because if I'm just sitting around worrying, I'm not a fun person to be around.
Same.
Yes, I need to be doing. But thank you so much, my friend, for all of your initiatives. And please, you know, keep us all posted as to what you're doing. And I'm excited to see what you're going to announce and what's coming next.
What do you mean?
You were talking about with your fancy friends?
Oh, yes. There's so many things in my head.
I know, you were like,
what do you mean? Sorry. Yes.
Should I become your personal assistant?
I mean, seriously. But I think in June, we'll have it manifest for GMHC, and I think it's a beautiful project. It speaks to what we're going through right now and living through right now, and really about the energy we're putting out to the world.
Yes.
And so I'm really excited about this project, and I hope folks like it. It's going to be fun.
I know that we will. I love you. I'm so grateful to you for being here. Stay safe and sane.
Will do.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. So thank you so much for being with me. If you want to see me again, which frankly, I understand if you don't. But I am doing another Sunshine concert this Saturday, May 30th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at sunshinesongs.com. This is our initiative where we are bringing the Sunshine Songs into senior living communities and into pediatric hospitals, children's hospitals, as well as foster care homes and the Hole in the Wall Gang camp for kids who are dealing with life-threatening illnesses, and so much more. We are featuring some beautiful artists and performers from Friends of Karen, which is an organization that has been working full-time to support children who are dealing with life-threatening illnesses and also their families for, I think it's been 41 years. So that's a pretty incredible organization. See you then, I hope. And I am gonna go now. Thank you.
God bless America, land that